Good morning. Good morning. Happy Independence Day. Today is Thursday, July 4th, 2024. And we are here to look at the new releases that are being set into the wild. And today we are looking at fantasy and science fiction. Hi, Elena. Happy 4th of July. How are you? Are you doing anything? And Elena asked what I'm going to do for the 4th of July weekend. I actually took tomorrow off, so I have all 4 days. I do want to do a lot of crochet. I took on a side quest um, for somebody, and so I'm hoping to crank that out this weekend. It's a shawl. But it's the first time I've done a shawl, but it's going very, very well. So I'm going to read and I'm going to crochet. I'm going to nap. I'm going to take Keo for a walk a couple times today. And our house is in a subdivision outside city limits, and we moved here 22 years ago to this house, and it is ground zero for fireworks. There are mortars, the big, big boomers, just usually at the houses around us. So it's going to be late night tonight. Luckily, Keo does not seem to be affected by the sound of fireworks. So uh, hopefully just have a very, very quiet day. How about you? Gonna spend some time with your family? Hey Jen, good morning. And she says hi to Elena. And yeah, it is awesome. All righty. I couldn't find any patriotic coffee, so we've got the red and white stripes in honor. And thank goodness it doesn't. Yeah, our previous two dogs, one, our shepherd Akita, did not like the noises, that and thunder and so forth. He'd get very nervous. And then our other dog uh, saw that he got the attention, so he was saying, "Yeah, I'm scared too. I need attention too." So I didn't get to see fireworks for the 12 years we had them, which doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have my dogs. And our dog prior to that was Lab Malamute and did not phase him at all. He would sit on the driveway as we put off fireworks. He was that kind of. But it is very hard on animals. It is very hard on those who suffer from PTSD or related things that make it difficult. Um, so it's hard for some people. Independence Day is my second favorite holiday of the year. My first is St. Patrick's Day because I love everything Irish. But this is one of my very favorite days. I think what the founding, the Declaration itself, everything that went into it, behind it, is just amazing. Do you have any plans, Cajun? We do have uh, we do have sprints today. All the cats got freaked, but one especially. Oh, got her a thunder shirt and she dropped like her legs disappeared. I tried the thunder coat with the one who was very afraid. Did not help. The only thing that helped with Riker was the mutt muffs. There, headphones that are built for dogs. So we just went back to all four cuddling as close as they could. Indeed, they're looking to mom. I love that kind of day. Yep. So we do have sprints this afternoon starting at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, and they'll go for 4.5 hours. We're just tacking on 2 extra hours to our normal Thursday sprinting. All right. First one up today for fantasy science fiction is by Lisa Jewell. This is called Breaking the Dark, first in a Marvel crime series, they're calling. This is about the Jessica Jones character. And she's a PI. And so this is a superhero crime fiction. But we're counting it as fantasy because they're superheroes. Meet Jessica Jones, retired superhero, private investigator, loner. She tried her best to be a shiny spandex crime fighter, but that life only led to unspeakable trauma. Now she avoids that world altogether and works on surviving day to day in Hell's Kitchen, New York. The morning a distraught mother comes into her office, Jessica would prefer to nurse her hangover and try to forget last night's poor choices. But something about Amber Randall's story strikes a chord with her. Amber is adamant that something happened to her teenage twins while they were visiting their father in the UK. Twins don't act like themselves, and they now have flawless skin, have lost their distinctive tics and habits, and keep talking about a girl named Belle. Amber insists her children have been replaced by something horrible, something perfect. Traveling to a small village in the British countryside, Jessica meets the mysterious Belle, who lives a curiously isolated life in an old farmhouse with a strange woman who claims to be her guardian. Can this unworldly teenager really be responsible for the Randall twins' new personas? Why does the strange little village of Barton Wallop seem to harbor dark energies and mysteries in its own tight knit community? A mother's intuition is never wrong, and Jessica knows that nothing in life is perfect. Not these kids, not her on again, off again relationship with Luke Cage, and certainly not Jessica herself. But even as she tries to buy into the idea that better days are ahead, Jessica Jones has seen all too clearly that behind every promise of perfection trails a dark, dangerous shadow. Made for You by Jenna Satterthwaite. It's the blurb here says Mary Shelley in the Bachelor era, feminist as hell. Okay. Hi, my name is Julia. I'm a synth, and I'm here to find love. Synthetic woman Julia Walden was designed for one reason, to compete on the proposal and claim the heart of Bachelor Josh LaSala. Her casting is controversial, but Julia seems to get her fairy tale ending when Josh gets down on one knee. Fast forward 15 months, and Julia and Josh are married and raising their baby in small town Indiana. But with haters around every corner, Julia's life is a far cry from the domestic bliss she imagined. Then her splintering world shatters. Josh goes missing, and she becomes the prime suspect in his murder. With no one left she can trust, Julia takes the investigation into her own hands. But the explosive truth she uncovers will drive her to her breaking point. And isn't that where a person's true nature is revealed? That is, if Julia truly is a person, told in dual timelines. Here's my thought. Let's have a thought about synthetic people. People are gnashing their teeth at overpopulation, yet they're creating nearly perfect forms of cybernetic people, shall we say, which is adding to the population. Now, is this just the next step of replacing these controllable, possibly non eating synthetic people? And apparently they can reproduce because they said they had a baby. And should we really be playing God like that? I mean, there's so many questions here that they're not really addressing. Eh. All right, just read the books. Masquerade by O.O. Sangoyomi. I apologize. I'm not saying that correctly. Ododo's homeworld of Timbuktu has been conquered by the warrior king of Yorubaland, and living conditions for the women in her blacksmith guild, who were already shunned as social pariahs, grow even worse. Then Ododo is abducted. She is whisked across the Sahara to the capital city of Sengote, where she is shocked to discover that her kidnapper is none other than the vagrant who had visited her guild just days prior. But now that he is swathed in riches rather than rags, Ododo realizes he's not a vagrant at all. He is the warrior king and has chosen her to be his wife. He doesn't even know her. Probably doesn't matter. In a sudden change of fortune, Ododo soars to the very heights of society. But after a lifetime of subjugation, she finds the power that saturates this world of battle and political savvy too enticing to resist. As tensions with rival states grow, revealing elaborate schemes and enemies hidden in plain sight, Ododo must defy the cruel king she has been forced to wed, forced by reforging the shaky loyalties of the court in her favor, or risk losing everything, including her life. Loosely based on the myth of Persephone. I have issues with that too, but I won't say anything. I used to want to write a books, and realized early on I don't want to write it. I want to have written it, which a lot of authors have actually stated. That's not an original thought. But as I've gotten older and I read these summaries, in particular in the last year, I don't really have anything. I mean, I have things to contribute, but the only things that get published are those that are just the same. Why would you want to add? Rise by Freya Finch has the look of a young adult. Hey Sherry, how you doing? Good morning. How are you doing? Who was the author of Masquerade? Hang on a second, we'll go back. Oh, I'm not going to say this right, so I'll bring it up. Sangoyomi. It's Sangoyomi? I don't know. Very interesting cover, though. And I'll give it points for not being a silly romance that are taking over. This is being compared to Percy Jackson as a family of Valkyries fight to stop Ragnarok. For 17-year-old Bryn, being the youngest, messiest, most rebellious sister in the family of Valkyries isn't easy, especially considering home is a Renaissance fair in Chicago full of costume workers who see her as nothing more than a nuisance. When her mother disappears on a mission for Odin, Bryn begins having strange visions about the impending Ragnarok. Bryn senses their mother is in great danger, but her annoyingly perfect older sisters refuse to take her seriously. Their mother is, after all, Captain of the Valkyries. Things only take a turn for the worse when a half-human, half-giant named Juniper crashes the party with a violent zombie in tow, confirming Bryn's worst fears. Her visions of Ragnarok are real. If that wasn't enough, the fair's mysterious new addition, Wyatt the Black Knight, just so happens to have a ferocious secret that threatens everyone around him. Determined to survive Ragnarok, Bryn, Juniper, and Wyatt team up to combat the horde of monsters that keep appearing throughout the fair. But after Bryn ignores the call to deliver Wyatt to Odin's eternal warriors in Valhalla, choosing to save his life instead, she starts to wonder if she'll ever get this Valkyrie thing right. Whispers of divine interference, including sightings of the mischievous Loki, reach Bryn's ears. Soon everyone at the fair becomes a suspect, leaving Bryn, her sisters, and their newfound friends the only ones who can stop the war to end all realms. Whether she's ready or not, Bryn is about to learn how the ties between fate and choice are as interwoven and unbreakable as the bonds between sisters. Very interesting introduction to Norse mythology, other than the Marvel world, of course. A lot of keywords from Thor. Notice Thor did not show up here, though. You're welcome. Yes, it's one thing catches on, and then every other book is that same theme. I remember Tiffany saying last year she was looking for a cruise ship cozy and couldn't find any. There are at least 4 series now. Those are just the ones I've seen, probably more. Yeah. I mean, yay, publishing industry, but. And it's the same thing with movies. They killed the movie They killed the movie industry because they're afraid of original. The Failures by Benjamin Lyer. This is a debut. Genre bending, bend breaking blend of apocalyptic sci-fi and epic fantasy. About a scattered group of unlikely heroes traveling across their broken mechanical planet to stave off eternal darkness. Welcome to the Wonderlands. A vast machine made for reasons unknown, the Wonderlands was broken long ago. First went the sky, splintering and cracking, and then very slowly the whole machine, the whole world, began to go dark. Meet the Failures. Following the summons of a strange dream, a scattering of adventurers, degenerates, and children find themselves drawn toward the same place, the vast underground keep. They will discover there that they have been called for a purpose, and that purpose could be the destruction of everything they love. The end is nigh. For below the keep, imprisoned in the greatest cage ever built by magicians and gods, lies the buried giant. It is the most powerful of its kind, and its purpose is the annihilation of all civilization. But any kind of power, no matter how terrible, is precious in the dimming Wanderlands, and those that crave it are making their moves. All machines can be broken, and the final cracks are spreading. It will take only the careless actions of two cheerful monsters to tip the Wanderlands toward an endless dark, or help find its way back to the light. So, if the goal of the bad guy is to annihilate all civilization, what's the point of being all powerful if you have nobody to be powerful over? I sense flaw in logic. And if you destroy civilization, there's no form of social contract to keep people in check. Hmm. Sure, it shows a distinct lack of creativity for sure. Yes, indeed. The Night Ends with Fire by KX Song. Well, those are interesting initials. I mean, I'm PK, but KX. I guess it does kind of flow. Welcome to the world of initials, KX. Although that sounds like a robot. Speaking of sci-fi. Okay. The three kingdoms are at war, but Malin's father refuses to answer the imperial draft. Trapped by his opium addiction, he plans to sell Maylin for her dowry. But when Maylin discovers her husband-to-be is another violent, ill-tempered man, she realizes that nothing will change for her unless she takes matters into her own hands. All these very negative things about marriage, too. Excuse me, sorry. The very next day, she disguises herself as a boy and enlists in her father's place. In the army, Maylin's relentless hard work brings her recognition, friendship, and a growing closeness with Sky, a prince turned partner. But has she simply exchanged one prison for another? As her kingdom barrels toward destruction, Maylin begins to have visions of a sea dragon spirit that offers her true power and freedom, but with a deadly price. With the future of the three kingdoms hanging in the balance, Maylin will need to decide whom to trust. Sky, who inspires her loyalty and love, the sea dragon spirit who has his own murky agenda, or an infuriating enemy prince who makes her question everything she once knew about her kingdom and about her own heart. The Second Chance of Darius Logan by David F. Walker. Looks like this is a young adult about justice and second chances and all the ways we can make our own world in the image of our dreams. Darius Logan is far from a hero. Since his parents were killed, he has spent most of his life navigating foster homes and shelters, abandoned neighborhoods, and decaying buildings. All Darius knows is survival. Life was hard enough, but now he finds himself being hunted by the police after a drug deal he should never have been involved in goes bad. Well, make bad choices, there are consequences. And when they catch him, Darius is positive he will spend the rest of his life behind bars. But in place of a long prison sentence, Darius is handed an opportunity almost too good to be true. The chance to get away from his circumstances by joining the second chance program of the Super Justice Force. I love that. We're the Super Justice Force. A league of people with special powers who strive to do good and protect the world from harm. Darius soon discovers a strength he never knew he possessed, but evil forces manifest and threaten to destroy everything he holds dear. Will Darius be able to save the world when he faces a deadly and all too familiar enemy? Super Justice Force. That would get laughed at. We're not just Justice Force, we're Super Justice Force. The Undermining of Twyla and Frank by Megan Bannon, second in the Heart and Mercy series. The entire town of Eternity was shocked when widowed middle-aged Twyla Banneker partnered up with her neighbor and best friend Frank Ellis to join the Tanrian Marshals. 8 years later, Twyla's rewarding career patrolling the strange land of Tanria becomes a welcome change from the domestic grind of mom life despite the misgivings of her grown children. Fortunately, or unfortunately, a recent decrease in on the job peril has made Twyla and Frank's job a lot safer and a lot less exciting. So when they discover the body of one of their fellow marshals near an enormous footprint, and Frank finds himself the inadvertent foster dad to a baby dragon, they are grateful to be back in action. Soon the friends wind up ensnared in a nefarious plot that goes far deeper than any lucrative Tanrian mineshaft. But as danger closes in and Twyla and Frank's investigation becomes more complicated, so does their friendship. And Twyla starts to realize that her true soulmate might be the person who has lived next door all along. And we are ignoring that alarm because I don't have to go to work today. Bound to the Shadow Prince by Ruby Dixon. That is a pretty cover. Exactly. That was my thought too. Mulan retelling for that one. Oh, absolutely. You can tell this is a fantasy romance. Romantasy. The thing with romantasy is that it's really romance with fantasy elements. And people who like to read fantasy are going, just kidding. Uh, this is the author of The Ice Planet Barbarians. Okay. In order to protect her kingdom from the wrath of a vengeful goddess, Princess Kandra must remain locked inside a tower for 7 years. Why? 7 long years without a friend or a lover by her side. And shut inside the tower with her, a Felian, the enemy of her people, a fearsome warrior race complete with wings and claws and fangs. Nemeth is terrifying, cruel, and disturbingly magnetic. Ew. Kandra should kill him for his supplies, but she's desperate for his company and his touch. As time inside the unchanging tower rolls on, Kandra discovers the man behind the stony facade. And when their tenure hits an unexpected snag, Kandra and Nemeth are forced to make a difficult choice. They'll need to face an outside world they no longer recognize, one that threatens their lives and their surprising love. Here's my question. This is apparently a guy with wings and claws and fangs. I would think physical love would be difficult. Oh, logistics. Stop it. It's love. Love finds a way. Charmed by Elizabeth Rose, fourth in the Portals of Destiny. A portal, a witch, and a bounty hunter. What can possibly go wrong? The witch. When Persimmon burrows, I like that name, Persimmon, but she's probably called Percy, and I hate that name. Seeks out her father after her mother's death. Her life is turned upside down. She is the daughter of a sorceress, but has been raised in seclusion and is just starting to activate her powers. There is an emptiness within her, and she longs to fill that void, never having known love, not even from her parents. Shortly after arriving in Mura, the sky opens up and a man falls out. It's raining men! Knocking her to the ground. He is a bounty hunter from somewhere called Telganoth. Another surprise is that he tells her he got there by stepping through a portal. Well, he looks like Florfall. Okay. The bounty hunter, when Stone, Night Stalker, steps through a portal on a mission to catch a thief. He never expects to end up in a land called Mura. This land is not like his or any other. Mura has magical beings like fae, elves, and his personal favorite, a witch named Persimmon. She carries around a gazing orb with her and can supposedly scry, seeing things that others cannot. What better way to find his thief and the stolen gemstones? He'll just get the witch to look into her gazing ball for him. But life isn't always as it seems, and things change in the blink of an eye. Not to mention, portals are highly unpredictable. No one can know when they will open or even where they will show up at all. If Stone can't get back through the portal, he might be stuck in Mura forever. His mission is crucial, but his focus quickly changes to the girl, and that only puts them both in danger. War, greed, deceit, magic, and a lot of surprises are in store for Stone and Persimmon as their attraction for each other grows stronger each day. She is magical, but he is not. They couldn't be more different. Once certain steps are taken, there is no going back. Now the real question is, will either of them really want to? From Shadow to Flame by Ryan Kirk, second in the Legend of Adani. Darkness fights hardest against the lights that burn brightest. Ilian's victory over the invading Dabru came with a high cost, but for the first time in generations, hope beats in the chests of the warriors of the wandering clans. Before the dust from the battle can settle, though, the Dabru reveal their true, terrifying power for the first time. Once again, the clans must flee while they desperately search for the strength to resist their destruction. Closer to home, Samora studies the mysteries her own victory against the Dabru have uncovered. Their world is not what she thought it was, and humanity's new allies keep secrets they may decide the fate of both clan and village. The deeper she digs toward the truth, the more danger she uncovers, and some secrets are best left buried in the past. As the siblings seek strength and truth, the Dabru begin their final push to exterminate humanity. Again, why did they? Surrounded by enemies on all sides and discord within the clans, Elian and Samora fight for a future that is anything but certain. One more. Very pretty cover. Hot pink is the new color in sci-fi. Still the sun. Romantasy finds a way. Yeah, they have such pretty covers. Yeah, it's raining men. I can see that quote being on Romantasy. Yeah. All right. Still the Sun by Charlie N. Holmberg. An ancient machine holds the secrets of a distant world's past for two intimate strangers in the latest romantic fantasy, blah, blah, blah. Pell is an engineer and digger by trade, unearthing and repairing the fascinating artifacts left behind by the mysterious ancients who once inhabited the sun-baked planet of Temperi. She'll do anything to help the people of her village survive and to better understand the secrets of what came before. Heartwood and Mosius are keepers of a forbidding tower near the village of Emgarden. Inside are the remnants of complex machines, the likes of which Pell has never seen. Considering her affinity for ancient tech, the keepers know Pell is their only hope of putting the pieces of these metal puzzles together and getting them running. The tower's other riddle is Heartwood himself. He is an enigma. Oh, it's not enigmatic, but it's close enough. Just a minute. Drinking game. Distant yet protective, to whom Pell is inexplicably drawn. Pell's restoration of this broken behemoth soon brings disturbing visions, and the discovery that her relationship to it could finally reveal the origins of the tower's strange keepers and the unfathomable reason the truth has been hidden from her. Okay, that is it for fantasy and science fiction this week. Sounds like the engines of the gods. Yeah. Publishers and authors. Yeah. I don't know. Makes you appreciate the good stuff. And yay for them for being published. All righty. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We do have sprints today, and they are starting 2 hours early. So at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll be doing sprints. They'll be for 4.5 hours today. Sprints after that will be on Saturday, like usual, at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. Those go for 5 hours. At this point, I am doing a morning show tomorrow. I have the day off, but I am doing a morning show. I'm not quite sure what the topic will be. It was a semi-light publishing week, but we'll find something to talk about. We always do. And Sherry says, thank you. You are welcome. Hope everyone has a good day. See you tonight. Yay. Thank you so much. So hope you guys have a good Independence Day. Be safe. Stay hydrated. Read good books. I do nonfiction. I love nonfiction. I don't always stick with it, but I always start them, and there are some very good ones that I love to read, love to recommend. I love learning things. I love history. I love politics. I love lifestyle things. So yes, I love nonfiction. Maybe we could do some nonfiction tomorrow. We'll see what is out. That's a good suggestion. All righty. Well, I hope to see you in just a little bit. I have to go walk Keo, have some breakfast, go back to bed. So I'll see you in a little bit. Thank you so much. And as the banner says here, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Nom nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.